gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, oh, I'm gonna get up out of the ground, 'cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Thank you so much. I was about 3 years old when I first sang that song, Ain't No Grave, never knowing that I'd have to live out those words. My dad dug graves for a living, but I dug mine in my mind. He buried the past, and I carried it. 5 years ago, I was buried under 5 feet under, with 1 foot to go, buried beneath heavy, heavy emotional baggage. Like the bag I dragged in here today, I carried unseen burdens, weights that nearly crushed me. I carried fear, watching, whispering, you don't belong. I carried doubt, crushing, why even try? I carried shame, uninvited, yet always present, a stain that won't fade. I buried it all. I buried it deep. I played the part. I prayed it would stay gone, but it always came back. Sound familiar? Don't act like it doesn't. I see your baggage. Heartache, guilt, failure, you've hidden it well. But here's the real dilemma. Stay stuck or step into something greater? The question sparked a shift for me, leading into what I called F.L.I.P, a system utilizing CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, to break free. Like refining a song, I rewrote my life. One lyric, one thought, one choice at a time. For the past 5 years, I've pursued the PhD of my life. No committee, no chair, just trials and triumphs. This is my dissertation, and now I stand to defend it. So if you're holding on for dear life, imagine this: flipping the script, leaving it behind, and crossing the border. What's on the other side? Trust me, you'll want to see. But first, let us go back to where it all began. Life was almost picture perfect. Mom and Dad, they loved me with all their hearts. My 3 older brothers, they always had my back. I was safe, or so I thought. Some of the kids in life face nightmares, but mine, they never faded. The hardest battle, they wore familiar faces. Smile that a kid and that hid the darkness they should have never shown. They didn't look like monsters, but their actions left scars. I was too young to understand, too small to stop it, too afraid to speak, so I buried it deep. But silence never stays silent, and ghosts rise when you least expect them. The bullies, they found me. They always do. Their words cut deep, and some days the weight of it all made tomorrow feel out of reach. But then life hit harder. I became my parents' caregiver, watched diabetes take my mother, watched dementia erase my father, my brothers, gone one by one in just 3 short years. Diabetes, heart disease, kidney failure. Man up, they said, as if grief expires, as if pain doesn't leave a mark. But when the past screamed loudest, I searched for anything to drown it out, just anything. Food wasn't just food, it was relief. Every bite buried a pain I couldn't name. a way to disappear from a world that expected way too much. I wasn't eating to live. I was eating to escape and disappear. They say that nearly half of America is obese, but the numbers don't capture the terror at 3 a.m. when your chest is on fire, you're gasping for breath, wondering if tonight's the night. 7 years of heart failure, AFib, high blood pressure, and a mirror reflecting a failure. What I didn't know is that obese adults are 50% more likely to have experienced some form of childhood trauma. I tried everything: starving, binging, losing, gaining. Thought I had it all figured out until the doctor said, keep this up and you won't see 50. Rock bottom, ICU. Machines beeping my death march. But through the darkness, I heard the song my mama taught me. Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. And it wasn't just a song, it was a promise. I wasn't done yet. Then came the pandemic. The world hit pause. The noise faded, and suddenly it was just me. No distractions, no escape, face to face with a man I had spent years running from, myself. But in the silence during disruption, something shifted. A realization the baggage weighing me down wasn't mine to carry forever. It was time to let it go and move forward. But how? Looking back, I can see the blueprint. My undergrad years, even here at Marshall University, laid the groundwork. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, taught me how thoughts trigger emotions and emotions drive actions. Then it all clicked. That's when F.L.I.P was born. Face it, label it, interrupt it, and pivot. Negative thought loops can keep us stuck. But here's the truth. We can reprogram our mental algorithms by recognizing these patterns and interrupting them. We just don't change our mindset. We change our reality. We flip the script and we take back control. I lived it. I was stuck in a loop of self-doubt and fear. Once I identified these distortions through CBT, I was able to disrupt them with intentional action. Transformation isn't magic. It's a process. And once you master it, you can rebuild everything. F stands for face it. Change starts with recognition. Cognitive behavioral therapy teaches us that by identifying and challenging the subconscious scripts running in our lives, we can break the negative cycles and make better decisions. I track those thoughts holding me back. I'm not built for this. I'll never get to that point. People like me don't succeed. CBT taught me that cognition isn't truth. I asked myself, where's the evidence? Would I accept this if my best friend said it? Once I faced those fears, I could flip them. L stands for label it, because the real battle isn't out there. It's the loop of unchallenged lies running in your mind. If you don't name those lies, they'll name you. They'll frame your reality and limit your potential. I once carried beliefs like, I'm permanently broken, I'll never measure it up. And all those lies weren't just thoughts. They shaped my identity until I learned to label them. CBT was a game changer for me. It helped me recognize the negative thought patterns I was stuck in. And then also, I was always thinking the worst would happen if I would see things and I would see them all good or all bad. But naming those thoughts, I was able to break free from them. Reframing allowed me to replace those lies with all the truth. Language isn't neutral. The words you choose for yourself can either be a cage or be a key. To flip the system, start by labeling the distortion. Name the lie, because you are not the lies you've told yourself and that you've believed. I stands for interrupted, because awareness alone won't speak won't spark change. You have to disrupt the cycle to break free. Recognition without intervention leads to paralysis. You don't think your way into a different reality. You act your way into it. CBT shows us that we can rewire our brains through intentional action. I started interrupting my negative thought patterns with new positive affirmations. This doesn't define me. I have the power to choose how I respond. I am strong. I am confident. I can do all things. At first, my mind resisted the new way of thinking. But over time, the pathways started to shift because our thinking isn't set in stone. It's flexible. Interrupt the cycle, break the loop. P stands for pivot. Let's talk about the power of pivoting, because if you don't pivot, you stall. Growth demands movement, and change doesn't wait. We all start with passion. This time, I'm all in. Then life, it punches back. Stress, resistance, regression, and we whisper, I'll fix it later. But procrastination isn't strategy. Systems are. So I rebuilt my framework, rewired my response, flipped the default settings in my mind. I set the one rule, my one rule. 8 p.m. was my power hour, non-negotiable, mind, body, and soul. I focused on me, and I put them in sync. No more late night snacking, no more mindless eating. It was a reset to reclaim clarity. CBT taught me to disrupt the cycle, override the impulse. I mentally fasted, filtering out the junk and clearing out the noise. I kept rewiring my mind until focus became frictionless. Discipline in one area triggers focus and consistency, making it easier to stay locked in across the board. That's how I broke the cycle. Now it's on you. What's your one rule? What is your power hour? Transformation isn't stumbled upon. It's sculpted. And it all starts with one bold move. Did I flip the script? Hell yeah, I did. I transformed and shaped my story from struggle to strength. No more AFib, no more high blood pressure, no more heart failure or fear of diabetes weighing me down. I kicked fatigue to the curb. I ditched the meds. I built a new life with discipline, consistency, and unshakable faith in the process. I dropped over 200 pounds. Can you believe that this used to be me? Thank you. Along the way, I made it to the semifinals in the National Mr. Health and Fitness competition. But the real win, thank you, it wasn't the spotlight, it was the growth. It's not about crossing the line, but it's about who you become when you push through. The real strength, it's built inside, piece by piece, no shortcuts. I think about that little boy who carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. He rose, he fought, he dug his way out, and now he walks like a champion. See this baggage, fear, doubt, and shame? I just didn't lay it down. I eventually flipped it. And what came next? A full redesign, Glen 2.0. Now, I step in power. Fear doesn't own me. Doubt doesn't hold me. Shame doesn't define me. I live in my purpose, shaped by every challenge and every victory. I step forward. I live in peace and confidence, knowing that I'm part of something greater. I claim the peace because it's the kind that doesn't fade. It's the kind that holds, the kind that stands firm, grounded, and free from the past. Real strength, it's knowing when to reach out to a therapist, to a coach, to a mentor, or to a friend. Because sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is say, I need backup. And when I did, I found my greatest blessing, the unwavering support of my family and friends who have walked beside of me every step of the way. Feel that? That's just not your heartbeat. That's power. That's purpose. That's peace calling. So tell me, what will you leave behind? What bold step will you take? Your moment isn't coming. It's here. It's right now. Move beyond the borders that have contained you. Face it, label it, interrupt it, pivot, and when life tries to knock you down, flip it, baby, and reclaim your life.